All right, guys, let's take a look at this dark ocean or IP coated Save the Ocean turtle. Mimo sent this over along with a couple other ones, and I'll show them all in one video at some point. But this is the srpd11, retail price of $575. But of course, if you use the ROB35 code over at Mimo's, you're going to get 35% off, which brings us down to a very, very nice price, especially from an authorized dealer. So you can expect great service, great shipping, and everything from Mimo, and you're going to have that warranty support and everything with the Seiko. So overall, I mean, I'm not going to do a full-on, size and all that stuff because there's tons of turtle videos out there. Even I've done a bunch of them. This is going to be more of just looking at the overall finish and everything. So let's talk about that real quick. I have to say, this dial, ever since it's come out, and there's a bunch of different iterations of it from different models, but this dial's probably grown on me the most. So it's so dynamic. Even the pattern on the dial is supposed to represent some sort of whale type feature on a whale body. And then the graduation from this blue down to the darkness, either really dark blue or almost black, I guess. In certain lights, it almost looks violet on some of the other models I looked at. This one definitely looks blue, but when you get a little bit of shade on it, it almost looks like a dark violet. So, and then if you notice, there's actually a little bit of dark navy blue on the 0 through 20 on the bezel insert too, so it ties in really nice. The IP coating on this, that's going to be a little bit, hate it or love it, but it does give them a really nice finishing on the polished and brushed parts, so it keeps all of that just like you would on, say, a stainless steel case. You're going to have that exact same exposure to the polished and brushed parts. So it's actually pretty cool, The bracelet is a standard affair. You can look there. It is definitely a gunmetal color. There's no polishing reliefs, and hopefully my lighting can catch any of that, but it is gunmetal or dark gray or whatever you want to call it through and through. The only part that it is not is the stamped clasp part here. So, but you're not going to see that when it's on wrist at all. Speaking of on wrist, let me give you a wrist shot here real quick. I didn't size this bracelet because this is brand new and it's maybe going to go back to Mimo. I say maybe because I'll talk about that in a future video. But you can see the turtle fits really good on wrist and almost looks a little bit smaller. When you go with these darker cases, it gives it, I don't know, it looks smaller. Same thing with the illusion of having a light colored dial or a white dial on a watch. It just makes it look larger. So it does the exact opposite when you have a darker case on a watch. So this is a really cool model. I'm glad Seiko's doing, some might argue that there's so many special editions because this is not a limited, this is a special edition. And what I think that means, from what I understand from talking to many other Seiko fans, is this will be in production for 2019 or a good portion of 2019, and then it goes away. It's not limited, it's not numbered or anything like that, but it is going to go away, which in a sense kind of makes it a limited production because it is only a moment in time that they produce it and then they move on to other models. So, some might argue that Seiko's putting out too many, or, just like Omega or any of the other brands, they put out all these special or limited editions, and it makes them less special somehow. I kind of disagree with that from a collector standpoint of view, and especially if you gravitate, say you're a huge fan of the turtles, there's really nothing better than when Seiko puts out different colorways of the same watch that you fell in love with. Same way I have with the monsters. Like, I love my orange monster. So when they come out with a blue one and a jade one and a white one and a yellow, whatever colors they come out with, that excites me because I like that watch. So when they come out with a new colorway, I'm instantly gravitating toward it. So I think the same thing happens with most of us Seiko fans. If you like the Samurai or the Solar Chrono or whatever like that, every time they come out with a new colorway, I bet you probably get excited. So I don't think that's a valid argument for most Seiko fans. I think most Seiko fans are on board with it and look forward to new colorways or changes to that model, but keeping with the same watch. Plus, if you're into different straps and everything like that, they're going to fit across your collection if you collect that particular watch. So I think it's really fun. Of course, standard turtle, you got the drilled lug holes and all that good stuff. But I mean, the real star of the show here is two things, in my opinion. It's that dial and the fact that this one has dual lume, which is crazy awesome. I'm going to give you a good lume shot here in a minute. But before I do, I want to show you something else really cool. And I'm going to do a separate video on this as well. But I'm just going to kind of plug this in here. So Lume ceramic bezel inserts come out with a new sapphire insert. And they sent me over a turtle one. And this is like a dark blue. Could you imagine swapping over this sapphire lumed bezel insert in dark blue? That looks amazing. I think that would be the mod, the most simple mod. If you did that with maybe like a clear AR, I think you could do blue, but I'm kind of leaning more towards like a clear AR coated sapphire domed crystal in here, and then this insert would look killer. I think that would look awesome. So I'm definitely going to do a turtle build before too long, and we'll be doing all that stuff. But in stock form, I think you'd be hard-pressed to beat this because you're going to get the bracelet, you're going to get the IP dark coated, which just, you know, sets it apart. And for me, a lot of times I feel like the turtle's too big on wrist, and when you have the dark case, it blends right in. It looks really good, you know, versus like a SKX, which I prefer the size, but I feel like I could wear the dark case turtle easily. So let me close you out with a lume shot here. I'm going to try to add some ambient light so it doesn't get too... I'm even going to blast a little bit, so hopefully you guys can get the full effect of this dual lume. That is cool. I'm so glad Seiko is doing that. And then just for effect, let's overlay this. Tell me that isn't sick. That is the mod of mod. I think that would be, I mean, just even doing that alone, forget about the crystal. I mean, if you just spent 60 bucks, bought this insert, and tossed it in there, and now you got full lume, dual lume, all of that stuff, and it looks like an OEM plus type mod. It looks awesome. So thanks for watching. Big thanks to Mimo for sending these guys over, and I'll see you guys on the next video.